Hi, afternoon. Well, I certainly hope not. I mean, I think, we need to be really equitable and fair, and we want everybody in the country to have equal access to healthcare when they need it. But you're right, there is a huge demand at the moment, and we are really struggling with the backlog. I think the stats have shown, and I was reading a paper, something like 6 million people on waiting lists, and it's increasing day by day, and we're trying to work out how to deal with it. And I think it is a really, really hard situation. I think we know that everyone is working their utmost in the NHS, but we know that that probably is not enough at the moment to even catch up. So we need to think about new and innovative methods, and we need to think about how we retain and recruit new staff as well. And that's a big challenge.
Frontline, people come to you first to get their problems partially diagnosed, referred on to specialists if it's needed. Do you worry when you see someone enter your clinic and you think they need to be looked at immediately? This could be quite serious, that is not going to happen. Are you seeing people coming back in with problems getting worse because they're not being able to have access to the next stage of care?
Yeah, I think that's a really astute observation, because actually that's something that I do really worry about. We have been in the game and treating patients for such a long time that we can recognise when there are three categories. There's either acute, life-threatening, you must go to hospital and get sorted today. You've got the urgent, and then you've got kind of the chronic, which is the longer term. The chronic will get an appointment, it's been going for a few years, but the urgent category is the one I'm really worried about, because we want to see them in a few weeks to a month or so, but we know this could be 3 to 6 months, maybe longer. And that's just for urgent things, and the chronic stuff is even longer. So it's a really big challenge, and it's heartbreaking to know that some of the patients I'm going to see are going to have to wait for a long time for treatment, and actually it's not safe. Now, I think we have to think about solutions as well. And one thing that we know is that the pandemic was exhausting and challenged the NHS staff hugely. And I think a lot of them have been leaving in droves. And I think that's something we need to look at, and look at, one, safeguarding their care, but also making sure that we recruit and retain them, really, support them. The other side of it is going to be recruitment. We need to bring in more people. Ultimately, I know we've closed our borders, but we really need to bring in not just doctors, nurses, healthcare assistants, loads of admin staff, people to run the system. And then we need to put some money in to get new services available, or times when people can work. GPs work 8 to 8, Monday to Sunday. You can see a GP Monday to Sunday, 8 to 8. I think we probably are moving towards that model now for secondary care, because that's the only way to deal with all of these surgical procedures that are waiting to be seen. So we're going to have to get people working on weekends. Now, the existing staff can't work 7 days a week. They'll get exhausted and burn out and leave as well. So we need to bring in new people, but we also need to have sites for them to work. So there's a lot of work to be done to get this sorted.